Welcome everyone, Christine here with Steel Division 2, Army General, the campaign mode. Campaigns are displayed in chronological order to satisfy historical understanding, but this order does not correspond to the level of complexity. So the first one in chronological order is also the hardest one. June 23rd to June 26, 1944. Orsha. Let us begin. I will be playing as the Germans against the Soviets as General Lieutenant Volklers. Let's begin.
June 21st, 1944. On the Western Front, heavy fighting has been taking place for the last 2 weeks in Normandy, while on the Eastern Front, the situation is much quieter since the end of the Soviet Spring Offensive, which has brought the Red Army to the gates of Belarus. It is in this sector of the front that the Soviets are now secretly building their strength during the early weeks of summer 1944. Codename, Operation Bagration. Its objectives, to trap and destroy the German Army Group Center in order to open the way for the quick capture of Warsaw. To achieve these goals, the Soviet Army intends to crush the main German strongpoints at Vitebsk, Orsha, Mogilev, and Bobruisk within the first hours or days of the offensive. Nowhere more than Orsha are the Germans ready to receive the Soviet assault. Waiting in strong positions they have held all winter against repeated Soviet assaults, and reinforced since then. They are confident they can once more break the enemy's offensive. Orsha is the main hub and key of the whole German defensive system, and therefore defended by the best troops. But the Soviets have learned from their winter failures and have devised new tactics, especially to crack open this stronghold. On June 23rd, in the wake of an artillery and air bombardment such as the Eastern Front has never seen, elite Soviet assault troops crash into the most determined German resistance.
"24 hours after the initial Soviet attack on Vitebsk, its garrison is on the verge of collapsing. All signs now point toward Orsha as the next target, which the Soviet 11th Guards Army is about to attack with strong combat engineer support. Orsha is a crucial road and railroad hub, one of the main strongpoints on the German front. So important is this city that Hitler has earmarked it as a fortress, meaning it has to be defended to the last man. Two of the best German divisions, the 78th Sturm Division and the 25th Panzer Grenadier Division, are defending this sector, ready to counterattack the Soviets wherever they might break through. But their northern flank is held by the 256th Infantry Division, a unit destroyed and rebuilt too many times with too many raw recruits. The Soviet objective will be to take control of the Moscow-Minsk highway in order to break through to our rear near Tolichin. Primary objective: hold Tolichin until June 29th p.m. Secondary objective: hold Orsha.
Okay, so it's 6 days, but you have the difference between AM and PM, so as a result of it, I will have to hold for effectively 12 turns. Doesn't sound too bad, really, honestly. I mean, it's complex because there's a lot of units involved here. We can see that there's a huge number of enemy units involved in this entire affair. So, I started playing this, tried a couple of turns, and there are some key lessons to learn from the very beginning. Each unit has its own action point. Each unit represents a battalion of a regiment or a division. You can consume action points by doing bombardment. So select an enemy land unit to bomb, effectively removing their action points. But of course, this will also remove yours. So with that in mind, you need to be careful as to how you use that. I'm going to move this artillery unit forward. Move this one forward as well here. Okay, keep this one. All right, move them forward. All right, we have another one. Now, the goal here is to eliminate some of these units by eliminating their points with my artillery. Now, this will not work in every situation. Okay, Panzer Grenadier Regiment. Get closer. 2 points, okay. Right, let's take out the tank units. That will not work, so move that one closer. Move this closer as well. We do have quite a few artillery units, don't we? Okay, now with that in mind, we will have a high-powered artillery group and an AA regiment. We will deploy against it the 1st Battalion and the 3rd Battalion of the 456th Infantry Regiment, as well as actually all 3 battalions, maybe, the 256th Fusiliers Battalion. Okay, tactical battle. And you can assign the AI to take control of some of this, but not all of it. I'm gonna take control of the regiment, leave the AI to control the... Actually, maybe I should give them the regiment itself and I take the Fusiliers. It's because the regiment is probably gonna... It's obviously more powerful. I want to give the AI more units just so... because the AI is probably gonna handle things more difficultly. The reason I'm not controlling this on my own completely is because... well, quite simply put, it's a large front, and those kind of fronts are designed to spread the burden, so to speak, between yourself and the AI. Now, the way this works is you have battle phases, phase A, phase B, phase C. Now, given this, I am of the belief that what the campaigns are going to end up being, not the multiplayer battles at all, because there's various considerations to give there, obviously, but in single player, given the design of single player, if anything, it will just lead to a situation where it is going to be heavily favored for you as a player to use phase A units to win the day. Not as many units as I would have liked, but they will do the job, I guess. Okay, 2 units on that side with a general. Okay, good enough. We will get an MG42 here, 3 units. And 3 more units on this side. I can deploy more, I probably should. I think I'll take, yeah, I'll take these fellows over here. Position them where exactly? I don't know how much aid, if any, the AI will need. I mean, we're just basically dealing with an AA battalion. And so we should be able to beat them quite thoroughly without too much problems. But I'll deploy a couple more units just to be safe. Actually, I'll deploy the entirety. No, maybe not the entirety. Okay. Okay. Units incoming. So it's a pretty big battlefield and you have to fight with... and your tank support is fairly limited. I prefer to, when it comes to commanding infantry, the AI won't do an excellent job, but it's competent enough to handle at least a flank on its own. Not an entire battlefield, not here. At least AI has a tendency, when you give it control, to take a flank and only focus on that flank. It will not focus on the entire battlefield. I guess that was the design. Whereas the enemy, which is probably using this more or less the same AI, the enemy will do things a bit differently. Now,
So schnell wie möglich.
with this in mind, let's keep advancing.
Taxi bereit.
Okay.
Bereit für den Transport.
Oh, wait.
Wie lautet Ihr Befehl, Hauptmann?
I'll send that unit over there to help out.
Achtung, der Feind ist in der Nähe.
Enemy contact. Let's.
Einsatzbereit. Stellungswechsel.
Oh, shit, that was a long range hit.
Zu Ihren Diensten, Herr Kommandant. Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch. Geräuschdisziplin. Bereit für den Transport. Was können wir für Sie tun?
Okay, they're going to lose soon enough
Taxi bereit.
at this rate.
Stehen bereit. Feuer frei!
I just lost 2 units there very quickly.
Spähtrupp bereit.
Okay, let me send some units to support them over on the center.
Zu Ihren Diensten, Herr Kommandant. Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch.
Get that church.
Speer zur Stelle.
It's a church, yes.
Speer zur Stelle.
Okay, they have some MP40s and some carabiniers.
Ja, Hauptmann.
I would have assumed they would have gotten vision by now, but apparently not.
Was können wir für Sie tun?
Okay, I'll send them some support.
So schnell wie möglich. Wollen Sie mitfahren?
Okay, another victory point secured.
Hoch auf dem gelben Wagen.
That bit surprised this one isn't under my control yet. There we go. 2 minutes. Or pushing them back. Not really much fighting though. It's been a quick affair. Just some aerial nuisances.
Wie lautet Ihr Befehl, Hauptmann? Schneller geht's nicht. Noch ein Treffer und es ist aus. So gut wie erledigt, Herr Kommandant.
Alright, that's an AA gun right there.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle? Wollen Sie mitfahren?
We'll just have to get closer to deal with it.
Hört.
Not that it will matter, the battle will be over in a minute. Let me speed this up a bit. Get everything into position. The AI has secured superiority on that side.
Es hat Unteroffizier Stein erwischt. Geräuschdisziplin.
Whereas
Es
we...
hat Unteroffizier Stein erwischt. Sehen wir uns hier um. Spähtrupp bereit. Abmarsch, Männer! Wir wurden aufgeklärt.
That's more like it. Okay, I'm gonna move some of the units at the back and move in close air support to deal with this particular unit. So save over here, yes. So I've dealt with an AA regiment. Now let's deal with an artillery battalion. Well, I've dealt with an AA battalion from a regiment. So unit A, and we have Fusiliers or units from the 416 infantry regiment. I'll throw them in. Now, it's important to understand with regards to this game, this is mainly a multiplayer series, right? War games, Steel Division, anything like that. The single player is more of an afterthought to that. This could be very well a battle the AI loses, given the fact that it wants to only deploy on one side. But I personally don't want to deal with fighting in the first phase on my own against the AI. Alright, launch the battle. Let's see how the AI handles things. It's deployed on one half of the battlefield. I'll have to capture the other half, or recapture the other half. The thing that's annoying is how in the world is AI able to get close, secure these points? Some of these points are, it's tricky to make sense of it. I mean, on one hand, you have a situation where the AI is deploying units on all sides of the battlefield, so it should be technically outnumbered. Thankfully, we do have aerial recon, and that's actually going to help me a bit, or help the AI a bit in this particular scenario. They're probably going to lose there. We'll see how all of this plays out. But looking at things right now, it would be a devastating defeat, and pretty quickly too. I guess we'll see how all of this pans out though. Okay, the bombers are coming. Might. Really firing there. Yeah. Panzerfausts. Okay, objective secured. So the AI is doing its job, I guess, on its side of the battlefield. I mean, mind you, we're still losing, but we're losing slowly than it could have been. Okay. Okay, I'm deploying significant units to try and take this point as well. We need to secure back these points, all of them.
Keine Vorkommnisse. Habe verstanden. Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch.
Wir sind bereit, Herr Kommandant.
Hopefully.
Taxi bereit. Absitzen, sofort.
Jawohl, Herr Kommandant. Ja, Hauptmann.
Sanitäter! Taxi bereit. Absitzen, sofort. Verstanden. Ende. Getroffen.
Wir sind bereit, Herr Kommandant.
Achtung, der Feind ist in der Nähe.
Okay.
Leichtes Ziel.
Wie lautet Ihr Befehl, Hauptmann?
We need to get them inside the buildings.
Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch. Aufgepasst, Männer, es geht los. So schnell wie möglich. Hauptmann.
Stop it.
Den Aufwand halten. Hauptmann. Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch. Packt zusammen und dann los. Überprüft Waffen und Munition. Infanterie bereit. Jawohl, Kommandant.
Товарищ, не стреляй!
Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit.
Unten bleiben!
Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch. Ohne Tritt. Fahrt. Jawohl, Kommandant. Landsat zur Stelle. Stehen bereit. Überprüft Waffen und Munition. Jawohl, Kommandant. Ah, es hat mich erwischt!
Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung.
Ziel ausgeschaltet.
Sanitäter! Infanterie bereit. Landsat zur Stelle. Marschformation.
Kutte und Ersatzrohr bereit. Wir können nicht mehr.
Die Truppe erwartet Ihre Befehle. Ohne Tritt, Marsch! Sanitäter! Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit. Schneller geht's nicht. Sanitäter! Hauptmann? Munition! Verdammt, wir brauchen Munition! Überprüft Waffen und Munition. Haha, das hat gesessen. Landsat zur Stelle. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle? Der ist hinüber. Sie den Aufwand halten. Zu Ihren Diensten, Herr Kommandant. Ah, es hat mich erwischt! Was sollen wir ohne Munition machen? Habe verstanden. Keine Vorkommnisse.
Das Teil ist verdammt schwer.
Stehen bereit. Infanterie bereit. Zieh den Arsch an, Hans. Zielpunkt erreicht. Raus mit euch.
Wir sind bereit, Herr Kommandant.
Todesfälle in unseren Reihen.
Lanzer zur Stelle. Wir rücken aus. Habe verstanden.
Sanitäter!
Was sollen wir ohne Munition machen?
Überprüft Waffen und Munition. Zieh den Arsch an, Hans. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle? Auf befohlenes Ziel, Feuer! Stehen bereit. Wie lautet Ihr Befehl, Hauptmann? Bereit, Herr Hauptmann.
Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Infanterie bereit. Zieh den Arsch an, Hans. Die Gruppe erwartet Ihre Befehle.
Wir können nicht mehr.
Sanitäter!
Haha, das hat gesessen. Bereit, Herr Hauptmann.
Sanitäter! Wir müssen hier raus!
Stehen bereit.
Sanitäter!
Bereit, Herr Hauptmann. Zieh den Arsch an, Hans.
Okay, we've taken a toll on them,
Es hat mich erwischt.
but we've also taken significant damage in return.
Haha, das hat gesessen.
Gonna take the windmill and those houses over there. While setting up some troops
Sanitäter!
Jawohl,
on this
Kommandant.
side. We need to take more objectives to really win,
Direkt vor eigener Stellung.
to really push through here. Or else we're just gonna be in a slugfest of a fight. I don't mind it, by the way, to be clear.
Zieh den Arsch an, Hans. Lanzer zur Stelle. Auf befohlenes Ziel, Feuer! Ruhe, herhören. Bereit, Herr Hauptmann. Erkannten Feind niederkämpfen. Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit. Überprüft Waffen und Munition. Zweiter Zug, vorwärts, Marsch.
Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Ah, es hat mich erwischt!
Überprüft Waffen und Munition.
Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Ja, Hauptmann. Sanitäter!
Stehen bereit.
Verschieben wir uns! Munition! Verdammt, wir brauchen Munition!
Zieh den Arsch an, Hans.
Wir müssen hier raus! Ah, es hat mich erwischt!
Jawohl. Klar und deutlich.
Sanitäter!
direkt
They
zur
will
eigenen
eventually lose, just not very quickly.
Stellung. Wollen Sie mitfahren?
The fight will continue. I need to bring some artillery forward. The limited amount I do have.
Hat jemand ein Taxi bestellt? Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit. Sanitäter! Jawohl.
Okay, the MG42 will do the job it was meant to do.
Sofort.
Wir können nicht mehr.
We lost an objective.
Haha, das hat gesessen. Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit.
Weder Freund noch Feind. Nur lohnende Ziele.
MG-Trupp zur Stelle.
Über. Absitzen, sofort. Jawohl.
Unten bleiben!
Bewegung. Abstände vergrößern. Ruhe. Herhören. Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung. Wie lauten Ihre Befehle? Bereit, Herr Hauptmann. Los geht's, Männer. Bereit für den Transport. Lanzer zur Stelle. Hat jemand ein Taxi bestellt? Zieh den Arsch an, Hans.
200 abbrechen. 6 Schuss. Ende.
Stehen bereit.
Hat mich erwischt!
Lass mich raus!
Ich will nach Hause! Lass mich gehen!
Ich befolge nur Befehle.
Ziel zerschlagen.
Bereit, Herr Hauptmann. Bewegung. Abstände vergrößern.
In Deckung, Leutnant.
Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit. Zweiter Zug, vorwärts, Marsch. Überprüft Waffen und Munition.
Es hat mich erwischt! Weder Freund noch Feind. Nur lohnende Ziele.
Bewegung. Abstände vergrößern. Zieh den Arsch an, Hans. Auf befohlenes Ziel. Feuer! Stehen bereit.
Ziel zerschlagen. Haben Sie Zielkoordinaten, Hauptmann?
Jawohl, Kommandant. Ruhe. Herhören. Wollen Sie mitfahren?
Es hat mich erwischt!
Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung. Stehen bereit.
Hier fliegt bald alles in die Luft.
Hoch auf dem gelben Wagen. Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung. Lanzer zur Stelle. Den Arsch an Hans.
Ja, Kommandant. Setzen uns in Bewegung.
Ruhe. Herhören. Stehen bereit.
Verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Lanzer zur Stelle.
Finally, the breakthrough I've been fighting for all this entire battle.
Hat einen erwischt.
Well, what happens when you fight outnumbered in phase 1? You lose a lot. This is really what it boils down to.
Feind in der Nähe. Beschützt die
like
Artillerie.
nothing more. We were in an inferior position in phase 1, and we paid the price for it. It really is that simple.
Sobald der Feind in Reichweite ist.
Infanterie bereit.
Es hat mich erwischt.
Jawohl, Kommandant.
200 abbrechen. 6 Schuss. Ende.
Jawohl, Kommandant. Bereiter Hauptmann.
Haha, das hat gesessen. Artillerie zu Diensten. Warten auf Feuerkoordinaten.
An.
Wir sind getroffen.
Infanterie bereit. Marschformation. Der ist hinüber.
Lass mich raus! Ich will nach Hause! Lass mich gehen! Einsatzbereit.
Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung. Ruhe, herhören. Die Gruppe erwartet ihre Befehle.
Wir sind hier ein leichtes Ziel. Haben Sie Zielkoordinaten, Hauptmann?
Zu Ihren Diensten, Herr Kommandant.
Scheiße, es hat einen erwischt.
Bereit für den Transport. Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit. Überprüft Waffen und Munition.
Hier fliegt bald alles in die Luft.
Well, they're gonna lose in 11 minutes, hopefully.
Hauptmann.
Okay, and this.
Es hat mich erwischt.
Jawohl. Wir wurden schwer getroffen.
Fire.
Taxi bereit.
Wir sind hier ein leichtes Ziel. Stellungswechsel.
Let loose the dogs of war, I guess.
Es hat mich erwischt.
Infanterie
Okay.
bereit.
Move closer.
Hauptmann,
I've lost a lot of my units here,
200 abbrechen. 6 Schuss. Ende.
but not enough.
Sprenggranaten geladen. Feuerbereit.
Keine Vorkommnisse.
Wir sind hier ein leichtes Ziel. Geschützbereit, Herr Kommandant.
Okay.
Die haben wir niedergemäht. Wir sind hier.
Hoch auf dem gelben Wagen.
Sanitäter!
Lanzer zur Stelle.
Warten auf Feuerkoordinaten. Ja, Kommandant. Ziel vernichtet.
verdammt, es hat mich erwischt.
Bereiter Hauptmann. Absitzen, sofort. Stehen bereit.
Beziehen neue Feuerstellung. Geschütz wird auf Ziel ausgerichtet. 10 Grad nach oben. Feuer. Stellungswechsel.
Verdammt, hier ist ganz schön was los.
Los geht's, Männer. Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung.
Ziel vernichtet.
Wie lauten Ihre Befehle? Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung.
Zur Stelle.
200 abbrechen. 6 Schuss. Ende. Warten auf Feuerkoordinaten.
Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung.
Feind gesichtet. Ziel auffassen.
Landsat zur Stelle. Der Fußbus fährt immer. Ruhe, herhören. Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung.
Ah, es hat mich erwischt.
1 minute left.
Sanitäter!
Feind direkt vor eigener Stellung. Zweiter Zug einsatzbereit.
Ja, Kommandant. Ziel ausgeschaltet.
Well, I've depleted 2 entire battalions, but I did prevail. Let's see, kills. I think we killed far more than we lost, didn't we? Yep. We lost 130 men. Yep, team stats. Okay. No, that was them. We killed 94. Yep, okay. That's over. Okay, my front line I don't think is gonna collapse. I have routed 2 entire units, left the artillery regiment basically down to nothing. But we've taken some pretty significant losses in return. So this entire flank will need to be reinforced. Meanwhile, in the north, things are a bit more, shall we say, problematic. Can't attack that regiment yet. Now, I'm tempted to go with the heavy hitters to a certain extent, because they are at the front lines. We don't have any units. Actually, we do, believe it or not. Yes, that will be the next target. I guess I could deploy these guys over here to make the most of my line, and then I'll try and break through the center against the 345th artillery regiment. Kostin signing out.